The pressure on, I remember bringing nothing home. Make it little just to make it known. Steady, ready, better watch your tone. When I was 5'7", I was breaking. I had a 5'7", now I want the chrome. 9'11", I was in my zone. Lose the argument or lose your dome. Keep cool, ain't no running up. Oh, damn, now I'm coming up. They coming to kiss me, you dumb or what? You drawn, you done enough. They told me don't rush it, just wait my time. Paying attention, I see the signs. Coming right to me like Amazon. No time for distractions, I'm on the grind. Little shorty, you're sick and she knows she fine. Got a couple of, so never mind. They throwing the shade cause they know I shine. Reason I'm going in overtime. You stuck in your ways, you keep fantasizing. I just go get it, don't think about it. Don't make it an issue, it ain't a problem. Not too much talking, just organizing. One best word, no way around it. Heavy, so you know I'm grounded. Too sturdy, I'm well-rounded. Tunnel vision, I don't see a challenge. Get admitted, I'm killing it. Case closed, I don't need a gavel. No, you hate it, don't even matter. New page, still the same time.
Mike, but just never forget that I do not. Always have that fresh in your mind. That I feel absolutely nothing for your pain and your problem. Because I know that all of your pain and problems are a test to make you stronger.
I live in a world where we coincide. If you're not ready to stay inside, you're drowning away. You're gonna ride. You stick to the end, you get glorified.
Seeing if you're gonna step up in this, you're gonna run.
Stick to the end, you get glorified. Let's make it official, I'm one of them. One of the greatest is no exempt. It took me a minute to figure it out. I was struggling, and it made a man. I shuffled the deck and I played my hand. Just give me a reason to put them on you. Didn't believe that I had me a vision. Should I believe that you is loyal? We giving up game, they fumbling plays. I'm tired of talking, I'm racked out. Before that we started, they tapped out. I jumped in my duffel and blacked out. What you witnessing is elevation. Boy, roll to my destination. The haters, it's a celebration. And I put that on my reputation. When the fall, this is a demonstration. They sick and I know they hate it. One Westworld every season. Hot boy, this dedication. I'm giving game, I don't need favors. Go against us, you won't see the danger. You ain't family, you a damn stranger. I'll beat your ass, I don't need a baby. I don't got time for excuses. I'm plotting on making the killer. I'm getting the feeling, they know that I'm coming, I'm running. Let's get to the business. I'm still playing my post. Taking the rim like these. Don't run with too many people. I don't feel none of us equal. None of us equal.
And there are some brothers and sisters that know that so much, they would never leave. They would never abandon you. Since you have to stay alive here, they'll stay alive with you.
I live in a world where we coincide. If you're not ready to stay inside, you're drowning away. You're gonna ride. You stick to the end, you get glorified. You stick to the end, you get glorified.
They're one West.
Yo, let them make this beat,
Yeah, you already know what time it is, you understand? UPK, One West of the Command Junior High to all my brothers, we rolling through, you understand? Cause these niggas weak, these niggas don't know what to do. You see these soldiers beside me, standing in all black with them shields on post, watching, they all my brothers.
Gold is precious, but loyalty is priceless. Harm on the mind might leave you lifeless. Wrong with this shit, I'ma need a diapers. Endure through any crisis, cause all my niggas righteous. All politics with vipers. Cowards fold, real niggas hold rank, stand for what they believe in, won't compromise a thing. Never harmonize with traitors. Do not affiliate with impersonators. You cross the line, you gon' catch the vapors. My niggas strong, no chase. Them other niggas sweet like annihilators. Tank full of brown sugar like annihilate. Every time I move, a righteous demonstration. All I deny is Satan. My brother's glorious, true warriors. The lame are sworn down, the death sentence can't stop till we notorious. Thrown in my way with a supreme audience. Proud ass nigga get exiled, no loitering around my brothers.
Yeah, you already know what it is. 144 back again, UPK style, putting it down for my bros. And I roll with straight soap.
That's
you
right.
See them niggas with them shields
That's
and
right.
the fatigues and them boots. They my brothers. We gon' rule it on the king on the stand. We gon' rule this bitch at all costs. Nigga, we gon' take this from them crackers.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
And we gon' eat and drink. Me and all
my brother, you like the ladder house. You can't blend with my men, nigga. I can tell you fake from your treacherous mouth. Claiming God is all love, we don't believe that. Give a damn about your 2 cents, fuck your feedback. I give it all for my brothers, they deserve it. No excuses for my niggas, they striving to be perfect. Sacrifice whatever form, they're never over. You be cake, we click tight like Sweet Pea and Joe. Endure to the end, it's what a wise man told me. Licking from the top shelf, but I spit it with the low. 144, nigga, everybody know. All I ever wanted was revenge, fuck a road. Say you down for the cause, gotta show me. Stand tall and do not blush. Remain calm when the danger pop up. Flow deep like David Jones locker. More bars than Central Locker. No competition, only glory in the distance for my brothers.
Long, Miss Bro. I got these ladies. Who back here now? Oh man, we got it's a lot of y'all. Wait, I hope y'all enjoy the music. It's a lot of my Kodai's class. Isupk, 1 West out of Harlem, 125th Street, man, New York. I'm the commanding Jimmy High, a lot of shades. Some a little shades. Strawberry 5. All right. Diet. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to continue on the names in the Bible. Right? So what I want to do is, first we come around with this. I want to see, now, I'm famous for this, y'all. I'm famous for this. We got everything set up. Here I come. I still want to mess with stuff. And the microphone is all the way over here, so I'm pretty sure y'all can't hear me. But I want to try to move the camera just a tiny bit closer. And we have it. You can give me a hand with this, bro. I don't want to jam the mic up. You know how we put it in. I want to move the camera forward just a little bit. All right. Famous for moving stuff around. But we're going to stay at the board today. I was thinking of showing some names online, but let's just practice the writing and pronunciation. All right. So with that being said, we see how it looks. Boom, we just gotta turn it just a little bit, y'all. Shalakia. Y'all know I always do this. I don't know why. I gotta stop doing this, man. Gotta stop switching everything up. The brothers have it set up nicely, and here I come, trying to switch it up again. All right, so we're gonna be right here on the board. Now, what I'm gonna be doing is going and pulling the names out of the Bible. We're gonna read the scripture where their name is, and we're gonna put it up on the board in Hebrew. And we're gonna break down each part of their name. Now, know this, because we weren't back then with their parents or back then with these brothers or sisters, because we're gonna be doing sisters' names as well, we can't say exactly what they mean. So keep that in mind, because how could we? We weren't there with the parent to know exactly what these names mean. But I can show you the breakdown of what it could mean. Because remember, our language is a slang language. So one word can mean 50 different things. Or two separate words can mean the same thing. So keeping that in mind, we're going to break down each name and what it could be. Don't let nobody tell you this is exactly what this name means if it's not there in the Bible. We know what Yahweh's name means because it's there. We know what Jacob's name means is there. We know what the 12 tribes, our forefathers' name means because it's there. But don't just let anybody tell you this is what it means. And Isupk, we would never do that. All right? We would never do that. So, with that being said, let's get started. We got the marker. Horizontal. I think we did have it. I moved. I might have moved it, y'all. It's locked here. Now, so we're gonna start with we're gonna start now. Remember, I believe we did Isaiah last week. I believe we did Ezekiel. We did a few names last week. I want to get a little bit more sisters' names, right? And then we'll go some more into the brothers' names. So we have an iPhone charger. I want to pull the first name I want to pull is Abigail, right? Remember the story of Abigail and Naaman, her husband, that almost about to put herself in a bad and unwise situation, dealing with King David. Also, we're gonna do Esther's name, all right? Because you got the Feast of Purim coming up. We can do Purim. We can do all the different names. Well, Purim is a name too, but I want to stick with the actual people's names. Like, we can do the names of the holidays, but I would rather stick with the names of our people, with people's names. Okay? All right. Boom. So let me see where we at. This is, I always say Naaman. Was Naaman Abigail's husband? Because one is Naaman that got the leprosy, right? That had the leprosy. He was naming a leper, right? And let me see. Y'all can type it in as well. Scriptures be all up in my, all in my head, man. Lock here. All right. Nabal. It was Nabal. That's who it was. Naaman was the leper. Nabal was Abigail's husband. All right. Now let's do the first name. Abigail. You got the charger for me? Oh, sure. All right. Can I bring this over here? If you don't mind, like the actual thing, and plug it in over here. Water. I don't think it works for me, but we in 1 Samuel 25:3. Start there. Start in 1 Samuel 25. We're gonna go to verse 3. Okay. Let's we can read a little bit of the backdrop. I got it in wrong. I don't know, it ain't working for me, Barzal. Might not want one, Satan. Might not want my phone to be charged for this one. But sometimes the charge will be true. As long as you got yours, right? You got the Blue Letter Bible. We can pull it up on the internet. All right. Well, while he's doing that, I'll put up Abigail's name. It's too wild. If it don't work, I pulled my jump. All right, cool. It was working. I don't know how you got it to work, but all right, let's start with this verse real quick. So somebody give me 1 Samuel 25. I'm gonna try to just keep it here. Hopefully I don't jam it up.
It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 25 and verse 3. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail.
All right, go to verse 2. Let's get the backdrop.
Kamakan. The book of 1 Samuel, chapter 25 and verse 2. And there was a man in Maon whose possessions were in Carmel, and the man was very great, and he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was sharing his sheep in Carmel. Now the name of the man was Nabal.
So Nabal was Abigail's husband. So this woman's name is, in Hebrew, is Aba, Ga, Ya. All right, and this is Abigail. Abigail. All right, it's Abigail. Abigail. All right, Abigail. Abagaya. Right, and that's how you pronounce it. This is an actual name in Hebrew. Abagaya. Right, and Abigail in English. Let's see what her name means. Or anybody help me out with this? I don't know how you guys spell it before. But I'm trying to keep it right there so that the can. You gotta plug it in. You can get it plugged in. So her name is Aba, Ga, Ya, and La. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. Right? But they're words. We know that. So we're gonna break down the words. If you can't get it to stay in school, I got a charger and wheel. All right, the charger. Ooh, my brother. I ain't even gonna mess with this thing. All right. See, all up in the chargers, ain't it? Ain't it? You can't get nothing. You can't be free for a second. All right. So Abba, Salaki. I think I jammed her name up, right? Because when you go to her name, so in the scripture, it says Abigail, right? Which is Abagaya. But when you click on it, this is what it says here in the interlinear, which does sound a little bit more feminine. Abaya. Ga, Ya. Abaya, Ga, Ya. Right? Which would make sense for where they get the Abi. This Abi is right here. This I, and then Gail, which would be Gaya. So I would say that this would be it. But we can also find out by going and looking into the lexicon to see, right? Okay, boom. All right, okay, so it was shortened, like when it was written without Ya in it. Like as far as the like certain scriptures, it doesn't have Ya in it, right? But for the most part, it does. It has Ya, has Ya inside the name. Okay, 826. You can go to all the scriptures where it is. All right. I can pull. Let's just pull real quick. Boom. You see. Baya Gaya. Now that is a lot more feminine sounding. Let's go to 1 Samuel 25:14. Let's go there. Where they actually use this name. So this name was shortened. Abigail's name was shortened, of course, because characters can drop off in our language, right? So it was written in the shorter form as Abagaya, but then her name was Abaya Gaya, which does sound a lot more feminine. Like I said, is where you get this I from. Abai or Abigail, right? I'm just trying to pronounce the I in English. Abaya, Ga, and then Ya. Abaya Gaya. Right? Now that's a feminine woman's name. It sounds a little bit more feminine than Abagaya, right? Abaya Gaya is definitely more feminine. So let's see let's break down the words. And the name, after we read the scripture, 1 Samuel 25 and verse 14.
It's a book of 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 14.
Okay.
But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to slaughter our master.
Now, here's the breakdown of the words, right? Because we read the scripture, which lets you know that King David is definitely wroth or angry with her husband, because he sent messengers out to go and do what they were sent to do, to perform the message they wanted to make. All right, because a certain type of a message is an action. A lot of things you'll find out in Hebrew is actions. Like our Hebrew words, a lot of words, period, you'll find out they're actions. We look at them today as, a message, as a thing, like a noun type of thing, like somebody, but a message is an action. It's an action word. It's like love is an action word. A message is, you send messages, okay? A message is an action, okay? It's just like being called. That's an action. He called me. You get what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of stuff when you go back and you look up the Hebrew, a lot of things that people might say is a noun or a person, place, or a thing is an actual action that we did. So love, people think is a feeling. You go back to the Hebrew, it's an action. Something that you perform. It's something that you do. Something that's required of you from the Lord. We are literally required to love the Lord. People just don't do it. Okay? Now, Abaya Gaya. Let's break down the words. There's two root words in the name. And Abaya Gaya, which is Abigail, you have two root words. One is Abba. Abba, and then the next one is Gaya. Right? And I'll break down the character Yah in between these two words. I'll put the character Yah there after we do these two words. So the first one is Abba. We know what Abba is. Abba means father, right? Father. Father. Let me just fix this thing. Make it a little bit better. Father. Next one is Gaya. Yeah, it's some room, but it's still charging us good. Okay, let's go. Pull this back up. Next word, the root word is Gaya, meaning rejoicing, or a circle or age, right? But rejoicing. Right? Rejoice, gladness, exceedingly. All right? So we got glad, and we got or gladness, meaning, happiness, rejoice. Okay? So remember, you got father and then you got rejoice, or father, gladness. Yah in between, Yah at the end of a root word. So the character Yah is at the end of the root word father. To say my, this is a word in itself. Remember, it's a character, but some of our characters have word meanings. Some of our letters, as America would say, but we call them characters in the truth. They have word meanings. So this character, when it's at the end of a word, means me or mine. So this would be mine. So we got three words. We got father, we got mine, and then we got rejoicing or rejoice or gladness. We could say my father's gladness. my father's rejoicing. And you can put is if you wanted to. My father is rejoicing. Or just my father's rejoicing. All right? Either one. Because you'll know, I'll get into that in a second. Actually, let me just go into it now just because we're on. In Hebrew, you'll notice when it comes to a name, we didn't have to, it was no, this father's right here is saying my father is something that belongs to their father, which is why it's the possessive adjective to say my father. You know what I mean? My fathers belong, this is something that belongs to my father. And it's his gladness, his rejoicing, right? But you'll notice that words, like this, the same word, Abba, could mean father, could mean fathers, all right? It could mean father is, all right, because certain words are assumed in Hebrew. You don't have to write it out, which is why at the beginning, put the slash over here, this is why in the beginning we had Abba Gaya. Right? Abba Gaya. Abba Gaya. Because they wrote it without the Ya in it. Okay? As a shorter form of writing. Because what really matters is father and then rejoicing. Right? Because this could be the name and it could still mean this right here. Which is why it was written this way, because it means the same thing. Even though they didn't put my in it, it wasn't required. It's about, remember last week when we went over how you want the name to sound. Okay? You might call it this for short. Instead of saying Abaya Gayal, you might just say Abba Gayal. It's shorter. It's the same name, but it's shorter to say, it's shorter to write. Just like you might have, give you Officer Kodash Zion. You might just say Zion or Kodash. Whoever, people might say different things. Your dad might say Zion. Your mom might say Kodash. All right, Captain Akkad Abaraya. Most people say Akkad. They don't really say Abaraya. They don't say it. Right? Your father might say Akkad or Abaraya. Your mom might say Akkad or Abaraya. You feel me? So, who else? General Quabal Ahmad, right? It's one name. But your father might say Quabal. Your mom might say Ahmad. Right? So it just depends. It's not, the name can be formed, right, to be the way it's supposed to be, but also it'll also be a slang too, just like our names today, right? Your name is, you have an actual name, but then people call you this part of your name. You feel me? Like Barzal Rakat. Man, I got Barzal. Get Barzal in. He sitting right here. I didn't even think of that, Barzal. All right, I got Barzal right here. I'm saying Barzal. His name is Barzal Rakat. All right? So it is just like that. You know what I mean? So we got a slang of the names. Now, with that being said, Abaya Gayal, Father, my rejoice or gladness. My father's gladness. My father is rejoicing. My father's rejoicing. My father is glad. Can mean that too. My father is glad. My father is rejoicing. My father's rejoicing. My father's gladness. And you could, as a parent, you get the opportunity to pick which one you like more. You and your red. I like this. I like that. I think it should be this, maybe because of this. I think it should be that. And then y'all might compromise a little. Well, how about we give her the full name, but we call her this for short, Abagayal. And the mom might say, well, I don't really like that. It's hard. It sounds a little masculine. How about we call her Abaya? Gaya. And your mom might call you Abayo, or your dad might call you Abayo, and then your mom might call you Gaya. You know what I mean? So we got the opportunity as parents to choose and to form the name and to do it how we see fit. So this might actually be your full name, but everybody calls you this. Abagayal. You know what I mean? Or Abaya or Gayal. Either one. Alright? So let's go on to the next name. Let's erase this. That was Abigail. Give me let's go into Esther. Let's do Esther's name. This is a good one right here. This Esther one, this is good. Because you got the Feast of Purim coming up, right? I want to get some sisters, man. You know, the sisters, they don't get a chance to really go out into the battle as much as brothers, because our sisters, they go out. They don't go out to camp and all that stuff unless they actually come in to do the womanly part, you know, give out the food and all that, which is a great thing because sisters get to get it in too. Brave brothers, I mean, all types of stuff sisters can do, man. That brothers will not do. I'm not about to be cooking all day. It's just not what I'm into. And braid your hair. Goddamn, I cook and braid. Listen. And make you muffins. And I'm like, bro, look. Just send me out the can. Let me teach the crafts. But sisters get to do all the different things. And I mean, we got some real intelligent sisters in school, man. You know, they do a lot behind the scenes as they should. You know what I mean? In silence. They like spies on the American kingdom. UPK sisters like straight up official certified spies. 007 ops and all that. All right, so let's go to, you can give me any scripture from Esther. You know, where her name is. Let me know when you got it.
Okay. It's the book of Esther, chapter 5, verse 3.
All right, hold on, let me get with you. Hang on, right there. Wait, number 4. All right, Esther 5 and 3. Let's go.
Then, let's like, so can I go to verse 2?
Yeah, you can start at verse 2.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 5 and verse 2. And it was so, when the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight.
Esther who?
Esther, the queen.
Esther, the queen. Dang. Because Israel, we didn't have queens. We had princesses. But the heathen gave her the title as a queen. She would still have a power as a queen, but they don't have the title, so to speak, right? Because we don't use that title. That's a heathen custom. We use princess because it keeps a woman in her place. A man has a place and a woman has a place. It keeps them in that place. And it's harder for a sister to battle power more than it is a man. A man knows that you have to have some type of power to get power. You're not just gonna walk in a room and just knock everybody the F out. I mean, it don't work like that. And that's what it takes to get power. But a woman knows she can't fight a man, so she uses other tactics to get power. She can get 1,000,000 men to fight one man, so now she don't gotta fight. She can get the whole entire room to stump you out, for real. One man ain't gonna come in a room and stump everybody out, but a woman can come in a room and get every man to stump you out. All of them. Every single one. Stump you out. That's just said, the wicked Haman, that nigga was dead. He was gone. Bro, listen, she never really provided proof. All she said was the wicked Haman. But because he came to the room, that's what really got him out of here. But it pissed the king off that she even said it. He was already about to get hurt. He knew it. That's why he came to the room. And she never gave no proof. She said, let's have a party. That nigga did it. He was gone, bro. So a woman has a different type of power than a man has. But a woman has to battle having that power because of the outcome that, like, remember, give me the scripture. What was the scripture? Which is greater in the world? The wine, the king, a woman. What it was, I forget what the other one was. Might have been money or something. But a woman was the greatest. She got the title because of what I just spoke about. She could slap the king upside his damn head, knock the crown off. He ain't gonna punch her teeth out. That's what a weak man would do, which means a weak woman would hit a man. Yeah. A weak woman hits a man the same way a weak man hits a woman. And that's equal. So let me put up Esther's name up here while you get it. And we're gonna pull this, the scripture where the one out of the Apocrypha. And this is a good one. I'm gonna show you why this is a good one. Right? We're gonna do a little exercise on this later. Where it says, which is the greatest. If you can't, you know what? I just explained it. Let's leave it there for time's sake. You don't gotta go through it. Let's get into this right here. Right? So this is what I'm gonna put. I'm gonna put Esther, right? Esther. Esther. This is why this is a good exercise. Damn, I jammed it up. I don't know what I gotta do to get it to come back on. I think I might be all right. But this is why this is a good exercise, right? Because you got A, Sa, Tha, Ra. Or you got A, Sa, Thar. Or you got As, Tha, Ra. Right? It's no official, like they don't put how it was actually pronounced because they use an E, so they use E-S-T-H-E-R, which could be As, Thar, right? Now I'm putting these little which-callers under here so y'all can see, you know, how to pronounce the word. So you can do A-S, and then T-H-A-R, Astar, right? Or you can do Asa-Thara, or Asathar, or Astara. It doesn't say, right? Now then you get a chance to go to the general and ask him how her name was pronounced, which is why I said this is going to be a good one, because this is the perfect example of how we name a child. But, is it still the same title on the class? Naming Hebrew names in the Bible. Can you just title it that, Hebrew names in the Bible? All right. Because remember the first class we went into how to name them, you know, and name meanings and things that, you know, how to name somebody in the truth, how to deal with Hebrew names, naming our children, naming brothers and sisters in the truth. All right. Having, you know, how the names in the Bible, how they work. So that's what we cover, right? So now this is why this was a good one, because we get a chance to actually do it ourselves. Now imagine we have a baby, right? Y'all out there, y'all have a baby. You know, we all got kids. So imagine you're naming your child, you want to have a child, right? And the name, they say, it means star, okay? That's what it says. It says star. All right. Now, we're also going to go to her. This is her Hebrew name. But we're going to go to her original name after the Hebrew name. So that, because this is better to do first, right? So it says that it means star, right? Now that could be incorrect. This is the Blue Letter Bible, and like I said, we weren't there with it. And what I mean by the Blue Letter Bible is the scholars, but what I love about the Blue Letter Bible is it shows the notes, it shows everything they did in the translation. But of course, on the website, they can update it if they want to. So you can't trust the oppressor, but it does, the lexicon is the notes, it has the actual notes. Now, with that being said, it's still optimistic. It's still like I don't know if that was the right word, but they still different opinions that can be formed on it. It's not nothing solid to say this is what it was because we were not there when her parents named her, right? We weren't there. So who knows what they really wanted it to mean. It could have meant star, but it could have been slang for something else, or could have had a different meaning and they use it as star. We don't know. So we're not going to say this is what it is. And you got to have some seasoning in the truth to understand things like that. Or you got to just have a good sense of understanding. A lot of our brothers that ain't in the truth and sisters that ain't in the truth, they're so hyped to be right that they throw out the real understanding of the Bible, the real spirit behind it, which is why they think a chip is the goddamn mark of the beast. It's like they so focused on one angle that they're forgetting sort of the spiritual part and then sort of the logical parts. So where things are, where they put too much spirituality to where as though it turns magical on parts that are spiritual that they don't understand, and then things that are logical, they put too much logic, or how can I say it? Things that are spiritual, they go and try to make it logical because they don't understand the scripture. And then things that are logical, they make it spiritual because they don't understand the scriptures or they don't have the seasoning to know that this is spiritual and that this is more logical to be accurate. This is not magic. It's not magical on the spiritual part. It's not magic. It doesn't have to be a microchip. It doesn't have to be extra logical for the mark of the beast or extra, spiritual crazy garbage. You know what I mean? And they jam that up. Go ahead, Barzo. You wanted to say something?
It's like, I just wanted to paraphrase, when the Lord said, how can you understand earthly things? You can't understand the heavenly. Or how you understand heavenly things, you can't understand the earthly things.
Right. So Barzo, I got to give you another hand, all right? Because how can you understand spiritual things if you think that smoking weed is the best thing for every black and Hispanic? You don't even understand that the plant is not made for you to smoke. It's a medicine. I don't see you taking 15 aspirins every time you want to get high. Maybe because aspirin will kill you. I guarantee you if it got you high, they would do it though. If aspirin got you high and didn't kill you, everybody be popping aspirin, I guarantee you. Let me get 3 packs of Tylenol. Because we that carnal. We not, you know what I mean? If you can't understand carnal things, regular, don't light the plant up and become an addict, like a dum-dum. Use it for medicine. You can boil it. You can do any type of damn thing you need to do with it. You just don't have to smoke it. I don't see nobody putting aspirin in their cakes, making aspirin cakes. Tylenol cake. Nobody wants that. Tylenol cookies, because it doesn't get you high. It's just a medicine. But they will drink a gallon of Robitussin. That they will do. They will drink NyQuil and be staggering and slow. They will rob you for your Percocets, Grandma, because they need to get high. But aspirin doesn't exactly get you where you need to be, huh? That's the problem. We take things out of context, too carnal, or we way too magical and not in the spirit. All right. So this is a good exercise to go in and say, Esther. So we had a daughter. Y'all had a daughter. Everybody out there online has children, right? And then so let's say the name did mean star. Let's just use it as an example. Let's say it meant that. And your rib is saying, well, I want to name her Star. Or your husband is saying, well, I want to name her Star because of whatever reason, right? Because remember the 3 wise men followed the star, whatever, all right? And you want, and say, let's just say it meant that. Now, you have the name, but how would you say it? What if the name was Asafara, right? It would have to be Asafara, right? Asafara. What if y'all didn't agree on that? Well, what if you thought I like the name. I'm glad, maybe, I'm glad you let me keep the name, or, I'm glad we agreed on that, but I don't like the pronunciation of how we say it. We might gotta, add something in there, aside the ra, put a hi at the end of it to make it, whatever, what I'm saying, to make it more feminine. Or maybe it's a man, you want the name, Star. So you might say, Asar, right? Because it's a boy. What if it's a boy? Or a man, and you say, I like Asathar, because it sounds a little strong. When you get older in the truth, Officer Asathar, out of such and such. You know what I mean? And then, you like, let's make it like that, to make it a little bit stronger. You know what I mean? Or what if the word was Astar? What if it was Astar? Right? And you could keep it that way. And you might want to put, something else on it to try to make it better, like he is a star, or you might say, I like the name, but I just don't want his name to mean star. It sounds a little feminine. Let's say it means he is a star. We're just not going to put Yah on it. We're not going to put he is. We're just going to say he's a star, or he shines. You know what I mean? Let's say his name means he shines, or shine. You know what I mean? Because, or bright. You could change the actual meaning. You can, try to sort of curve how you pronounce the word to make it better. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be one strict way like how Esau does it. Now let's go into the next name for the exercise. Let's do Esther's, because this was her Hebrew name, right? That was the Hebrew name. But remember, give me Hadassah. Remember, before she got that Hebrew name from her uncle Maradakia, right? And how you say Maradaki? Oh yeah, Officer Maradaki. Mardaki, right? Officer Mardaki, right? Ain't that true down in what's it called? Yeah, right. There we go. How about I say Tennessee? Lucky, brother. About to say Tennessee. Mardaki, right? Now, let's from her uncle Mardaki. Her name was Hadassah. If you could pull up Hadassah. We'll try to find it with you. Well, I'll put two S's. H. I think it might just two D's. Or it might be two S's.
H-A-D-A-S-S-A-H.
Right, D-A-S-S-A-H. That's what I figured. Wow. Esther 2 and 7. Let's read that. Bashar. Wow. Barzal. Barzal. All right. Rakah. Damn, two names, but being called one name.
Right. This is the book of Esther, chapter 2, and verse 7.
Go ahead.
And he brought up Hadassah.
Brought up who?
Hadassah.
Go ahead.
That is Esther.
Wait. Oh, damn. He almost gave it. Go to verse 6. We're going to read a little bit of this backdrop. Because this is where these bad broads come from. Read verse 6.
God. This is the book of Esther, chapter 2, and verse 6. Who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity which had been carried away with Jesonium.
Now, it was carried away from where?
Carried away with Jesonium.
No, carried away from where?
Carried away from Jerusalem.
From Jerusalem. All the bad broads dwell in Israel. Where's all the bad broads at? In Israel.
Jerusalem.
You know what I mean? Here we go. Jerusalem, the capital city of Israel. All right? That's where they come from. Get you a bad boy, you have to go to the Middle East, to the land of Yashar Allah, Aratazai Yashar Allah. All right? Land of Israel. All All right? Or Ha'aratazaya Sha'ala, the land of Israel. Okay? Damn. Goddamn, I forgot the name of the city. What's the word for city? How about this? All right? Hagabawar to Zion. Okay? The city of Zion. The city of, hold on. Hagabawar hard to Zion. The city of Mount Zion. Okay? The land, I didn't say the city. I just said, I just said the great Mount Zion. God War is great, right? Or mighty. So I said the great Zion, and then I switched it to the great Mount Zion. So first I said God War to Zion, the great Zion, and then I said Ha War, meaning the great. Ha War hard to Zion, the great Mount Zion. Or mountain Zion. Har is mountain, right? So now, this is where they dwell. Hagabawar, hard to Zion. That's where all the bad bros is from. They from where? Hagabawar, hard to Zion. From where the great city of Mountain Zion, or the great city of Mount Zion. I didn't have to say the word shall to mean of, which is the root word. It was just assumed. The great city of Mount Zion, that's where all the bad bros like Hadassah, who's known as Esther. All right? Now let's get what Hadassah means. All right, Osalaki, you can continue to read. You didn't finish the scripture. I cut you off. Can you continue to read? Let me know when you're at the end of 7.
Oh, God. This is the book of Esther, chapter 2, verse 6, in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away.
Uh-huh.
Verse 7. And he brought up Hadassah. That is Esther.
And that is who?
Esther.
That is Esther. Go ahead.
His uncle's daughter.
His uncle's daughter. Esther is what she's known as in the Bible. Her name was Hadassah. All right, known as Esther, the Hebrew name. All right, so let's put how to pronounce this. Ha, Da, S-A-H, Sa. Right, and this is how it's spelled. H-A-D-A-S-S-A-H.
S-A-D-A-S-S-A-H.
I knew it was 2 S's in it. H-A-D-A-S-S-A-H, Hadassah. Right? Now, this is, which is Esther, right? This is Esther. Okay? The name doesn't mean Esther. How about I put who is instead of which? Let's put who. See how we just changed that? Instead of me saying which is Esther, so people don't think it means Esther, I'm about to put who. You can do that same thing with a Hebrew name. Say, let's not say which, let's say who. See how that might sound better. All right? Instead of saying which, instead of saying Shar, let's say who. I think who is Maya. Maya something, instead of saying Ashar or something. Because, you know what I mean? It just depends on how you form the name, meaning how you want it to sound or what you want it to mean. All right? And this is what they say Hadassah means. They say it means myrtle. All right? Now, like I said, I don't really got no real truth to that. But that's what they say. Okay? We don't got no real proof. But that's what they say Hadassah means. All right? Now, let's go to a different name. We did 2 sisters. Can I get a time check? 1 to 2 brothers.
809.
809. Got a whole hour. Okay? Almost a whole hour. Now, the reason why I'm going through this is because, of course, we have a son of children in the truth, which is the Most High's power, all right, and His will that we have that. We also have a lot of new brothers and sisters that's coming in, that's receiving names, and this is just going to keep going until Christ comes. So we want to hold fast to the traditions which we have been taught. We want to always give brothers and sisters and our children Hebrew names. Okay, we want to, continue that, and we're going to need to know how to go about it. What our culture is when it comes to names and how and why and how and and what and how do we do this? And that's why I'm going over this. All right, give me Apocrypha. Give me 2nd Ezra 10 and 23. 2nd Ezra 10 and 23. Let's go into King David's name. Let's go into this right here. Oh my God! Why you got that? That what they call it? That thing? Star Remfram. Why you got the Star Remfram? Why you got the Star? What was the other one? Molech. Why you got Molech and Remfram and all them garbage people? Huh? Say it again. Oh, why you got the gangster disciple? Why you got the GDs? Gangster disciples. Y'all gang. Why you got the 6-pointed star? Forgot about that. Come on, man. Let's chill with the garbage. Obviously, I learned something from General Hyman. If you see the generals do it, it's law. Just know it. General Hyman said, you see me doing it, it's law. You see the generals doing it, it's law. He's been in this truth a hell of a long time, man. General Commander General Yohana got more years in the truth than I got on the earth. Don't even ask about actually being in the truth. There's no comparison. But I'm talking about on the earth. He's been in the truth longer than I've been alive. Including the night that my mom and father had sex. Including that. It's a lot, Including the shooting the club up. Including that whole thing, that whole incident. Before that. You understand? So let's just leave the old, stupid, say Christian nometry alone, all right? Because our generals and our captains, I want y'all to know something. I was called Commander General Hanna, and he was picking up all the brothers and how much work we do, but like he always does, right? Even if y'all don't notice, we had a courtesy of being around the general a lot, but he always picking up somebody. Like that is Commander General Hanna, man, to the fullest. Sisters and you might overhear him talking to the general. He's always picking somebody up. Now, same thing with, every general. They always bigging somebody up. Like always, not this and that, it's amazing. But I was, how much love they really got for our people. But I was in a car with Commander Giuliana. He was bigging up all the brothers and sisters. I was joking. I said, sir, our leader still goes to camp. I think we got a lot more to do. How are we going to accomplish something? Our leader is still going to camp. He's still at the camp speaking, please. Like, he didn't stop. And he started cracking up, man. He said, well, I guess we do. I sure do got a lot of work to put in. He said, I'm always, but I forget what he said. But he was joking that he definitely said that, but he said it in a way more humbler way than it might seem the way I just said it. It was like way more humble, but it was funny. Like, well, I guess you're right. You know what I mean? I think he said something like, I guess I got to slow down or something like that. I forget. But that is how we raise. And here's the thing: we got to hold to these traditions. So our leaders in the school, they held theirs. They put in the work. They was us at one time. So if they doing it, then it's lawful. If you see us wearing a shield, that's because you can wear a shield. It's obviously proof on it. Now let's get into, put it back up here. Let's put King David's signature. That's what it is. You got second Esdras 10 and 23. Put up here, second Esdras. All right, 10 and verse 23. You know when you got it.
It's the book of Second Esdras, chapter 10 and verse 23.
I'm gonna find another scripture. Go ahead.
In which is the greatest of all.
What is the greatest? Go up one verse.
God.
Go ahead.
God, this is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 10 and verse 22. Our pastor is laid on the ground.
Our pastor is laid on the ground. Go ahead.
Our song is put to silence.
This is what the heathen is doing to us. Our song is put to silence. Ain't no more singing. Like the EPK is the only thing that sings about the good Lord. Christianity, that doesn't sing about the Most High. But in the UPK, we do. Go ahead.
Oh God. Our rejoicing is at an end.
Our rejoicing is what?
At an end.
I mean, come on, man. It was prophesying what we live in today. Smoke shops, drugs, poverty. They was prophesying like it's over for us. So much so, you hear people say it today. When you first come in the truth, you like, how do we stop this? There's no way to stop this. It's like, it feels like we are going to die. We just going to die off. I hear people say it all the time. Blacks and Hispanics, we're just going to die off. It's just going to, there's nothing we can do. We shoot each other. It's not going to be enough of us to survive. We're just going to go and stay in slavery. And we just going to go. That's what we hear all the time. It was prophesying that same thing. But this one, we was on top. Well, okay, not at this moment, but it's coming from the era when we was somebody. And now they're expressing our downfall. Go ahead. And Esdras, he's expressing our downfall. Go ahead.
God. The light of our candlestick is put out.
Our candlestick, Manarah. All right. Manarah is put out. Candlestick, the light is put out. There you go. He said, all light. He tried to make this light a little bit. Should have asked Barzal to do it because he could draw. I can't really do nothing. I'm just going to try to get people to understand what this is. Our light to our candlestick. It's put out. It's gone. They put our light out. Go ahead.
God. The ark of our covenant is spoiled.
The ark of the covenant is robbed, stolen from war. Go ahead.
God. Our holy things are defiled.
Our holy things are defiled. There's a holy thing right here. Our candlestick, defiled. Our scriptures, defiled. Go ahead.
God. And the name that is called upon us is almost profane.
It's almost profane to say, I am a Jew. I am a Israelite. Let me tell you something. I was doing my slavery, and they seen my shield that I got in the car. A big shout out to Officer Malakia, all right, who we call Malakia. His name is Malakia, and I call him personally Malaki. Okay? General Mayaka Alaka. We call him General Mayaka. Okay? But big shout out to Malakia. He made these shield. Let me show y'all this. Hold on. This right here got to be proof. Hey, Barzal, they said prove all things. They said prove all things. We're going to prove something today. Well, what Kevin Hart say, I know me in Philly. Kevin Hart say, you're going to learn today. You're going to learn today. Get these for yourself, man. See these? Car air fresheners, seal and everything. Okay? Hang them on your car. They seen this and they said, oh, so what did he say? He said, halakain. I said, I don't know what that means. Oh, halakain. I said, yeah, I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. I was just trying to make talk. I know you was. I know what the hell you talking about. I said, yeah, I don't speak Yiddish. You know, like I don't really know. I'm not familiar with Yiddish. He said, oh, no problem. Are you Jewish? I said, yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Seen your star. Come on, man. The hell is Holocaust? Come on, man. Then the friend says, oh, are you an Israelite? I said, yeah, I'm an Israelite. He said, oh, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I know it does. It's almost profane, even though I told him I was Jewish. When they asked me, I said, yeah. But the friend knew more. He said, oh, are you an Israelite? They separated like Jewish, which it should be separated, but it should not have to be because it should only be one people. Go ahead.
And if I could, sir, the term, even just him saying that, lets us know that the person really knows what's going on because he said an Israelite. That term, I mean, the son of Israel. Mm-hmm. Jewish is just what?
It's a religion.
Sorry.
They know, and big shot, that's because our leaders still go to camp.
Right.
In your city. Still showing up to camp. When you trying to get out of it, they still coming. They still coming. You know what I mean? You trying to leave the school. They going to camp. Right. Bro. Somebody might have left the school, boys. The traders might have left. Our leaders still going to camp. They making sure our light don't go out anymore. Keep reading, Salaki, because I know we're on time.
Come on. Our children are put to shame.
Yeah, that's true. Go ahead.
Our priests are burnt.
Our priests are what?
Are burnt.
Are what?
Are burnt.
Go ahead. You know they burned us. You know they burned us, killed us. We already know. That ain't nothing new. Go ahead.
Come on. Our Levites are going into captivity.
Our Levites are what?
Are going into captivity.
Our priests, they slaves. I seen a Kodak Black music performance. He had no shirt on, a priest. Our priests are naked, smoking weed, having sex with white girls. Our priests, our bloodline of priests. That's why Christ had to set up a new reign of priests, because the Lord wanted that. Go ahead.
Our virgins are defiled.
Our virgins are defiled. Our young women of marriageable age. Our young women that are old enough to be married, meaning they're grown, but they still full of youth. They are what?
Are defiled.
They're defiled. Let me put up King David's names while you're reading that. Go ahead.
Come. And our wives ravished.
And our wives ravished. Ran through hunger. Or how do you say it? Ravished. Listen, that's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing to have a wife that is ravished and your daughter is defiled. Wife ran through, like preyed upon, and your daughter is defiled. Like did something nasty to her. The wife, ain't too much you gonna do in war. She's a grown woman. We know about concubines. Ain't too much you can do with it. It ain't right. She was overtaken. But you touched the child, you defiled that child. She wasn't qualified to even be ravished. That little boy was not qualified to have anything done to him. Defiled that young man or that young sister. Keep going.
Come. Our righteous men carried away.
We know that. Go ahead.
Our little ones destroyed.
Yep.
Our young men are brought in bondage.
Our young men are brought into bondage. Go ahead.
And our strong men are become weak.
Dang. That was a hell of a prophecy because it damn sure happened. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 23. And which is the greatest of all, the seal of Zion have now lost her honor.
The what?
The seal of Zion have now lost her honor.
Da. Wa. Da. There's no need for the wa. It's his signature. That's how he wrote it. He didn't have to put every thing. It's my signature. Right here. That's how I do it. But he didn't. I don't gotta use every letter. And what this is these two. Right here. I took this. The pronunciations. Ma, ra. And I just made it like that. So I included these in my signature. I don't have to. Everybody's signature is different. How do you know that it's his signature? Because every king has a seal. And I'll read the scripture for you. Time sake, I'll read it out myself for us all. This is 1 Kings 21 and 8. Thanks some water from the show. This is 1 Kings 21 and 8. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal. Read up the verse. See how we can get it. All right? We'll go up 2 verses. Boom, wait a minute. Let me go up. Boom. Might have to start at verse 1. We'll read verse 1, then skip it back down. This is 1 Kings 21 and 8. And it came to pass after these things that Nabal, the Jezreelite, had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the place of Ahab, king of Samaria. Now let's skip down to verse 7. And Jezebel, his wife, whose wife? Ahab, the king's wife, said unto him, doest thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. So she's about to take somebody's vineyard. What did she do? Verse 8. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed it with his seal. His name was his seal. It came in his name. This is King David's signature. Dawadah. It's an easy signature. You can even put Y in it with the damn thing if you want to. You can put it right here. I don't know how you want to do it. But I don't know how King David did it. Only thing I know is that this is how he did it. Right here. I don't know how he came up with it or whatever, but it ain't that hard to do. If he wanted to do it this way, you don't have to do it. If you wanted to put Y up here, just like that. But King David did it just like this. Easy. It's a signature. It's Dawadah. It's a signature, man. Stop smoking weed. Damn. It can't just, how come, you know what, come on. Got me talking in a light voice. How come, why can't life just be simple? Why everything have to be so damn complicated, man? Did y'all notice how it said Jezreelite from Jezreel? Because Ike is the son of Israelite, Ike. Don't you know the character Yah at the end of a root word? This how it said. How we did Abba Gayal, right? Abaya Gayal. That Yah, when it's at the end of a root word, also means Ite. Yashra Allah Yah. That's the way you say Israelite. in the formal way. Or you can just never use it the way we do. Let's go to Jezreelite and see if it actually says Yah at the end. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold up. Is that proof? Listen, come on. Y'all know who does this. They should just stop. You got Yasha Allah. Man, hold up. Actually, this is good because it's bigger. Y'all can see it. You got Yasha Allah right there. Oh, can I get closer? Maybe it's too damn close. All right. Might gotta go back to the other way. Oh, here we go. It's darker. Here we go. Ba Ya Yasha Allah. Right? Ba Ya Yasha Allah. Look at this word right here. Lock here. Gotta go back. Move it up. Boom, boom, Jezreelite. Got a Yah at the end of it. I don't even know if you can see it. I try to put this marker on it. It's hard to see, but it's there. Here you go. Over some, up, boom, Yah. I'll spell those words out. Vaya, Zara, I, La, Ya. Vaya, Zara, I, La, Ya, and then 2 dots. So that little thing that's up near that first dot, right here, that's the character Yah. I know it's blurry, but that's it. That's the character Yah. It's like you can see the character Yah up here to let you know that it's up. Right there. Right at the end of this. That's the character Yah. Anaya, meaning I or I am. Same thing over here, character Yah. Next to the 2 dots. Next to the character La. Right here. That last word all the way at the bottom. And what does it say in English? Jezreelite. We prove all things. Showed you the incident. I mean, the car air freshener. So, you Jewish? Yeah. I had one white devil tell me, the oppressor, he said, a black Jew from West Philly. He was so hurt that I said I was a Jew. A black Jew from West Philly. He was crushed. Bastard, like as if it could never be possible. So, King David's signature, he just signed it. Man, I don't know how she did it with Jezreel. Yah, Yazah, Yazah, Ra, I, and then La is his name. So I can imagine him trying to write it out. Or I'm just trying to see how she would. She probably ain't putting no connectors in it the way I would. Let's play around with it and see, I don't know, something like that. Something like that. I don't know. I just tried to put something up there. I don't know. But it was his seal. And it had to go good on candle wax because that's how you would seal it back in the day. Or he just could have had it shaped into the characters of his name. People can form the wax. However, all I got to do is heat it up and pour it into something. Or take the steel and, and put it on there, melt it on there. But this is King David's signature. It's his name. It's how he signs stuff. And this is the illest signature I've ever seen, I gotta admit. Like, goddamn, well, I would have did. I know he probably was like, yo. Yo. Probably showing his brothers. He probably out in the field with the sheep doing this. Remember, he guarded the sheep. He out there with the sheep, bad and all that. He drawing, fighting. All right, we got time for one more. Let's see how far we is. All right. I'm just trying to give y'all some backdrop. Oh yeah, we got time. Trying to give y'all some backdrop. That was 2nd Ezra 10 and 23. And then I gave y'all the King's Seal that you can put in your arsenal as well. That was 1 Kings 21. I started at 1, and I dropped down to 7, and the main part, the seal, was in verse 8. Okay? So I did 1 Kings. So 1 Kings 21. I started at 1, and I skipped down to 7, and then I read 8. And 8 was where the seal was at. All right, so this is for seal. And it's also good because you get Ike in Hebrew. If you got the Blue Letter Bible, you get to see that Yah at the end is also used as Ite, I-T-E, son of. Which is why you have Ban Yah, children. That same Yah. All right. If I hopefully everybody got it. Whose name y'all want to do next? Let's do Amos. You got somebody in mind? Y'all can type in there if y'all need to. Whose name y'all want to do next? We can do did we do 2 brothers yet? No, King David's the first one, right?
Oh, today?
Yeah. It was just King David. All right, you got somebody in mind, bro?
If I could,
Daniel Allen. All right, let's go with it. You give me the scripture with Daniel. It says Daniel, pull that up. We'll go with it. We know because we got Daniel in school in Hebrew. All right, but we still gonna go to the scripture. Okay. And then I'm gonna talk about Amos for the last. So I want to pull the sister. Who can I pull? Since we in Esther, I'm gonna see if I can get Vashti, that female dog. For lack of better words.
this is the book of Daniel, chapter 10 and verse 1.
Okay.
In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel.
All right. And what scripture was that?
10 and 1.
10 and 1.
God.
Don, Yah, Yah is in the root word, or it could be the connector. We'll find out. It's a good name to break down. Now remember, not unless it says what the name means, we can't say it means anything. Right? Meaning we can't say what the name means unless we can sort of speculate, but we can never give. Now, the Isupk give you official stance, and there's an official stance, but we're not the type of people that'll just make something official with no evidence. You know what I mean? That's what fake leaders do. All right, quick then, Salaki, I lost it. 10 and 1, right? So, Daniel Allah, pull it up in the Hebrew. Boom, 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 do. Daniel H 1840. 2 names. Two. It's like not 2 names, 2 words. 3 words, because this is a connector. So in this name, this Yah is used as a connector to connect the subject to the preposition. So Yah, when it's used as a connector, I usually put connector, right? To abbreviate it. It connects the subject. I'll put a T there. Subject. It connects it to the preposition. All right, I just put prep. Subject to preposition. It connects it. All right, y'all can't even see that. I'm over here playing myself. Hey, I can't even see all that there. Oh, I just put prep nice and big over here. Hopefully y'all can see it. Put an arrow this way. And then arrow this way. Put subject right here. Because it connects the subject to the preposition. Okay? When Yah is used as a connector, in this case, Yah is used as a connector. It's not, it doesn't have a word meaning. All right? Now, and remember, we can do things like that to make the name sound better, sound more prestigious. Because it could just be Don Allen, right? If you wanted to do it for a sister, you might say Donala, right? Don and Allah. Lord is Slaggy. Let me give you what it means right now. So let's start with Allah. You know, Allah in this case is the power. So hold on, let me put out a pronouncement so we can have this. Don, Yah, Allah. All right, Allah. So the Allah in this case, at the end, it means power. Right? It's an abbreviation for the Lord's name. All right? For meaning the Lord. Not an abbreviation for his name, but it's a substitute for the Lord. So Allah would be the substitute for the Lord. All right? Now, the root word Don. All right, Don is saying that it's used as judge. But let's go into the notes. This is what I mean when I say notes. This is the lexicon part of it. This is what was written. Okay? There's notes on it. Boom, boom, boom. So Don, they saying in this case was judge. Okay? Used as judge. They give some scriptures on it as well. Okay? Some in Judges. Some in Joshua, okay? So they give some good examples, Judges, Joshua, 2 Samuel, and it's used in different ways. It has the feminine added on to it. It's used in different ways. So that's too wild. All right, got some scriptures to back it up. So he's saying that Don means judge. I was about to put D-A-N. Like, let me do this. Don. So we got Allah and we got Don. We're saying that it means judge. Mine almost went blank for a second. Judge. So the character Yah is the connector. It's connecting judge to the Lord, or judge to the power, right? It's connecting those two together. Right, with the preposition. So I just put that is, do this, put the little character Yah right here. But it's connecting these two to say the Lord is judge. All right? The Lord is judge. The Lord is the judge, right? The Lord will judge. It's the name. I don't have to write it like a sentence. It is not a sentence, it is a name. The name, of course, has a meaning, which is either going to be a phrase or some type of, you know what I mean? But this is a name. I can say this means the Lord will judge. Just connecting judge to the power. The power will judge. The power is judge. The power has judged. The Lord has judged. The Lord is judge. The Lord will judge. The Lord is the judge. all these different things could be Dayala. You have 20 Dayalas and all their name means something different. Dayala, the Lord will judge. Dayala, the Lord has judged. Dayala, the Lord is the judge. Dayala, the Lord is judge. You feel me? All of them something different, okay? And this judge, this one, Don, they say, is used as judge. They did give a lot of good examples, all right, with scriptures to back it up. And so, Yah is just the connector that you use to connect the subject to the preposition, all right? So now, that being said, that was a good one. That was an actual good one because we actually got to use the character Yah. When you hear Yah Allah and brothers' names, we're connected. The Allah is standing for the Lord. It's a substitute. And Yah is the connector. Mataza Yah Allah. Dan Yah Allah. Gabar Yah Allah. All right? There's many different brothers. Ashaya Allah. Okay? The Allah is standing for the Lord. It's a substitute, meaning the power. Same name we gave to the Arabs. Told them that was the Lord's name. Just, and Yah is the connector. And Dan is the actual, what do they call it? The action word, verb. All right? One to find Vashti. Let's do one woman, this devil, heathen. She wasn't the devil, she wasn't heathen though. Vashti, right? You know what? Nah, I don't want to do it either. I want to do it either. Let's stick with Israelites. I'm just going to go in just because of Feast of Purim and show, what she was called. I mean, we can do that, but we ain't going to break her name down. All right? Okay. Hold on. Put this in. Spell it right. Also, Vashti. Okay. Gum. I like the word gum. Gum means also, and gum also means yea. It's a slang. When you see that word, that first word right there, gum, that's a slang. I do want to break that down. Gum. Gum Ashur, also the Assyria also has joined with them. All right. Make them as dung for the earth. Yea. Right? Gum. But her name was Washathaya or Washathaya. It's like a Washtaya. All right, Washtaya. Vashti. That he. And that was first queen. And she ran her. Read this. What did she do? Read, start at verse 9. Let's read down to I read down to verse 13, then drop down to verse 15, then we're going to drop. I just wanted to go a little bit into Purim. Esther 1. 1 and 9 to 13. Then we're going to drop down to 15, then we off of it. How much time we got? I'm going to go into Amos after this.
So that's the 1 and 13.
1 and 9, and we're going to read down to 13. Then we're going to drop down to 15, and then we off. We're going to go to Amos. You can read. Just a little bit for the Feast of Purim. There's no Feast of Purim is coming up.
Come on, God. This is the book of Esther, most likely.
No, that's it. That was Esther. Oh, you're in the wrong book. Okay.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 1 and verse 9. Also, Vashti,
Washtaya. Go ahead.
the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house.
Or Washathaya. right? But Shathaya, you never know, that's a little bit more feminine. Go ahead.
Okay. Which belonged to King Asurius.
So, Azarias, right? So, this broad was a party for the women, for all his wives. Now, some of y'all wives, some of our wives, they slick. They mad at you. They'll throw a party, invite all the women that they hate that you married to, and then disrespect you in front of all of them. Oh, damn, I gave it away. Read.
Go ahead. Verse 10. On the seventh day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehem, Bishtai, Harbana, Bigthai.
You can skip down a verse.
I
forgot that.
Verse 11. To bring Vashti, the queen, before the king with the crown royal.
Yeah. There was a party going on. King hype, he happy. The husband happy with the multiple wives, pun intended, right? He's happy with the multiple wives. Go ahead.
To shew the people in the presence her beauty.
And he grabs his most beautiful one to him that he wants to show off, the one he was down with. Go ahead.
For she was fair to look on. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains.
Why? Because all his other broads was there. Stupid. This is a stupid wife right here. This one ain't that smart. Yeah, all his other wives there, but ain't he showing you off? But she's so damn dumb, see? It's because you're pretty don't make you smart. Our sisters in the world find that out the hard way. It's because you're pretty do not make you have a brain inside that skull. He trying to show you off. You so upset at all his other women. You angry. Go ahead.
Oh God. Therefore was the king very wroth.
Pissed them off. Go ahead.
And his anger burned in them. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment. And next to him, unto him was Karshina, Shethra, and Micah.
Skip that name.
Verse 15.
Good. Most High in Christ. Let's do it.
What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to law?
So the husband said, oh, you want to embarrass me. You want to embarrass me, right? He called the wise men. The wise men got together and said, what are we going to do with her
because she had not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains.
Go ahead.
Verse 16.
Meaning she didn't do what her husband told her to do. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And me, Mukan, answered before the king and princes, Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes.
Wait a minute. Not listening to your husband is wrong. Read it again. She had what?
Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes.
Damn. Go ahead.
And to all the people that are in the provinces of King Ahasuerus.
So, not listening to your husband is wrong. I can see if he taking you down the damn rabbit hole so y'all can get stuck and you can tell what's going on and you don't see it, but you see it. That's not disobeying, that's saving his life. But just being stubborn, that's wrong. Go ahead.
For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women.
And they knew that from all the other men's wives that was there, that saw how she dealt with her man, the king, what they would do to their men who ain't the king. Because what women like to say, you ain't like him, you ain't like him, you ain't the king, you ain't my daddy, you ain't this, you don't have no You don't have no authority. You have lesser authority than he got. You got lesser authority than my daddy got. You got lesser authority than him. You ain't like him. Don't make me call him on you. Don't make me tell him about this. That's why you and this, and you did this, and you and that. They love to bring down your power to lift their power up. That's wrong to do. And they got rid of her. And brought in a new queen, who was a princess, right? Because we don't use that title. And her beauty, and she was an Israelite, and she got somebody's head knocked off, which Vashti could have did with her power, but she was dumb. Too bad for her. All right, let's drop that. Let's go to Amos, right? That should teach a lot of sisters something. You might have the power to put a nigga to death, but you're so damn stupid you lose your own man. Being stupid. Because you don't want to obey. And that is hard for the sisters coming out the world to do. And sisters in the truth sometimes, but mostly sisters that come out the world, that's the big thing. They don't want to do what nobody tells them. They grown women, they can do this, you know. And men do it too, but it's a big, right? Let's get Amos 1:1. Can you read that for me? We're going to close out with Amos. Amos 1:1.
It's the book of Amos, chapter 1 and verse 1. The words of Amos, who was among the herdmen of Tekoa. Tekoa, which he saw concerning Israel in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah.
So Uzziah was the king of Judah, king of the southern kingdom. And Amos was the prophet. All right? Now, Amos' name comes from a root word. The root word, Salaki, it's saying that his name means burden, right? I'm a wasp. Amos' name is I'm a wasp, right? Which comes from the root word Imas. So the wa is to say present tense. Imas is the root word, all right, for burden. Burden is the root word, right? I'm a wasp. This character wa is the present tense, right? So, and this word means, so Imas means burden, means load to carry, right? It's used as load to carry, a load, right? That's the main use of it, is load. They put the Y in it to say this is a burden. This load is a burden. All right, I'm a wasp. Read verse 1 again, Baba Bashar.
The words of Amos, who was among the herdmen of Tekoa, which he saw concerning Israel in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah, and in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel, 2 years before the earthquake.
Now you can stop right there. But you see these characters, right? The root word, remember, is just these three. Imas, right? But you also have the character wa, which is present tense. Right? This character wa is used as the present tense. Now, remember the rules that we had and the importance of the name. You want the name to be easy to say, okay? You want it to have a good meaning, all right? Now, it's going to be two people making the name. It's usually the father and the mother, right? And y'all be going back and forth. This is the usual. We're not saying going back and forth is a bad thing. I'm saying y'all both be trying to figure out the name, right? And they came up with I'm a wasp. right? Because they're saying load, but burden is what is more so. Now that's what they're saying it means, right? But this is what the word imas was used as. They saying this means burden. I'm a was. We'll just use it for now. We just using it as an example. Now, like I said, who's to say what it really means? We're not there, right? But the 40 scholars, the 54 scholars, that's, they did their job. I'm not sure who the lexicon notes is from. I think it is from the 54 scholars, because it tells you here in the 1611 Bible that they had to agree upon the easiest words. All right? And they had to agree upon what made more sense. Okay, let me read it for you. Okay, hold on, let me find it. Let's get past this. Okay, the Mr. Lively, who's the head of remember, get the 1611. Why? It tells you who translated the Bible. All right, got their names and where they came from. The scholars, Old and New Testament. Tells you who translated the Bible, got their names and where they came from. Mr. Lively was the head, right? He was the head man in charge. Mr. Lively, here name was the professor of Hebrew at Cambridge, and must have especially attracted the notice of the King James, right? Because this is the introduction. Pardon me, introduction. Okay. Now, let's skip down. It says the interest taken by James, who was the king. They speaking of him how we spoke about the kings in the past. He must have caught the interest of the king. Who was the king? A black man, an Israelite, King James. And calling him the king, because he was ruling. All right. It's further shown by a circular sent out by Bancroft to other bishops on July 31st, enclosing a letter on the 22nd from the king, King James, who was ruling at the time, stating that he had appointed certain learned men to the number of 4 and 50 for the translating of the Bible. There you go. There's more to it, but I just wanted to give you that. Oh, I want to read this to you too as well, just so y'all know King James had real power. All right. His Majesty being made acquainted with the choice of all of them to be employed in the translating of the Bible, got paid. King James paid them. He's His Majesty. Gotta get the King James 1611, bro. Shout out to my rib Kiawana. Remember, she got me this. Like, I think this is Locky. Hold on, y'all. I want to show y'all. This is the proof. This ain't my Bible. This is hers. This is my red Bible. She bought me one. Somehow I highlighted the stuff in her Bible. She got herself one and me one. Everything highlighted, everything I did is in hers. Ain't that something? Unbelievable, right? My Bible ain't got nothing highlighted. That's because we actually use the Bibles in here, man. We use it. I highlighted everything in hers, bro. I'm bringing hers back. That's all my notes. But His Majesty was King James. All right. Paid 54 scholars. I give you their names. Okay. I'm gonna read it. It says, I'm reading this right here, starting the introduction of the name of who broke down this Bible, who translated it. Okay. An order sent down for the translating of the Bible by King James. Salaki, I think over here is after I read this, I'm gonna go back and we're gonna bring it right back here where we started, right? It said the places and persons agreed upon for the Hebrew with the particular books by them undertaken, meaning what they translate. This is people from Westminster. Mr. Dean of Westminster, Mr. Dean of Paul's, Mr. Dr. Severi, Mr. Dr. Clark, Mr. Dr. Layfield, Mr. Dr. Lee, Ty, Mr. Burley, right? Mr. King, Mr. Thompson, Mr. Bedwell. This is what they translated. The Pentateuch, right? Tell you what they translated right here. The Pentateuch, the story of Joshua to the first book of Chronicles exclusively. That's all these specific brothers did. This is from Cambridge. Mr. Lively, who was the head. Mr. Richardson, Mr. Chatterton, Mr. Dillingham, Mr. Harrison, Mr. Andrews, Mr. Spalding, Mr. Blinge. Their names right here. And right here is what they translate. I'm about to read it. From the first of Chronicles with the rest of the story and the hierography, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Canticles, Ecclesiastes. That's what they did. Those brothers did. Now we're going to go over to Oxford. And this is just the Old Testament. Tell you who did the New Testament too. That's why you got to download, when you get the Blue Letter Bible, the Westminster Leningrad Codex. Why Westminster? It tells you the Leningrad Codex, right? With the Byzantine Greek. These brothers hired. Hold on, that's the Hebrew. But we're going to get to the brothers over here in the Byzantine Empire who translated the Greek. I'll get there in 1 second. So let's keep reading for the rest of the Hebrew. These brothers came from Oxford. Dr. Harding, Dr. Reynolds, Dr. Holland, Dr. Kilby, Dr. Smith, Dr. Kilby, Mr. Smith, Mr. Brett, Mr. Faircloth. They translated the 4 or greater prophets with the Lamentations and the 12 lesser prophets. So you got Ezekiel, Isaiah, Daniel. Who else? That's 3. Got Isaiah, got Ezekiel, Daniel, and there's another one. And then you got like Ecclesiastes, Lamentations, Psalms, which all came from Solomon, right? And then you have the lesser prophets, brothers like Amos, Habakkuk, Malachi. Meaning they didn't have as much books. You know, they didn't have a lot. Habakkuk, Malachi, Amos. I said them already, right? Nahum. Brothers like that. Okay? That's what he mean by the 12 lesser prophets. So we're gonna read on. This is all the Old Testament right here. Because remember, they did the Hebrew. So these are the last few. They came from Cambridge. Dr. Duport, Dr. Brantway, Dr. Radcliffe, Dr. Ward, Dr. Eamon Ward, because it's 2 Dr. Wards you're about to find out. Mr. Browns, Mr. Boyce, Dr. Ward, meaning this is the regular Dr. Ward, and then, I think it might be like Reggie Ward or something, R.E.G. Ward, and then you got Eamon Ward, which could be Emmanuel Ward, and it could be Reggie Ward or whatever, all right? But it gives you their names, but it's 2 Dr. Wards, okay? And they did the prayer of Manassas and the rest of the Apocrypha, those brothers. Now we're going to get into the New Testament translation, right? And then we're going to come back home to the main part that I brought this out for. It says the places and persons agreed upon for the Greek with the particular books by them undertaken. All right. From Oxford, Dr. Dean, it's like Mr. Dean of Christ Church, Mr. Dean of Winchester, Mr. Dean of Worcester. All right. So you got Winchester and then you got Worcester. Then you got Mr. Dean of Windsor. So it was 4 deans, Mr. Deans, right? Then you got Mr. Savard, Mr. Harnett, Mr. Ravage, and Mr. Hammond, Harmon. They did the 4 Gospels, Acts of the Apostles, and Apocalypse, which is Revelation. So they did Acts, they did the 4 Gospels, probably Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Acts, and they did Revelations because Revelations is from John the Revelator. All right, got that. Remember, it was 2 Johns. Remember, we went over the 12 disciples in the letter Hebrews speak. Y'all go watch that when we did 12 disciples. Okay, 2 Johns, 2 Matthews, 2 Simons. All right. Oh wait, I think it might have been 2 Johns or 2 James, either or. But and 2 Simons. Simon who was Peter, and then Simon who is Simon. Right. So now let's keep going. From Westminster, Dean of Chester, Mr. Hutchinson, Mr. Spencer, Mr. Fenton, Mr. Rebeck, Mr. Sanderson, Mr. Dawkins. They did the epistles of Paul and the canonical epistles. All right, tells you what they translate. Now, bring us back home of why. Remember, I went into the notes, right, on the name. Remember, it said burden. I was saying that was in the notes. You know what I mean? You know, specific. We can't say that was his actual name. All right, that's what it meant. We can say this was his name, but we can't say that's what it meant. Here's the reason why. Because, of course, he wasn't there with it. But here, let's read the rules. It says the rules to observe in translating of the Bible. It says this in the 1611. It says the ordinary Bible read in the church, commonly called the bishop's Bible, to be followed, and as little altered as the truth of the original allows. It says that right here. The truth of the original. What's true of the original will permit. It said names of the prophets and the holy writings with other names of the text to be retained. As nigh as may be, according as they were vulgarly used. All right, and closest to the name. It says, it's number 3. The old ecclesiastical words to be kept. The word church not to be translated congregation. It could have changed it. He said, don't change it to congregation. Why? Because that's what a church is. So like I mean to be all creepy and close. That's what a church is a congregation, is a school. It's where you gather together to learn. He said not to be changed. They didn't change it. Because back then it was called a synagogue. Christ changed it to church. Thank you. He said at the synagogues. There's a bunch of scriptures. He did this at the synagogue. It was called synagogue when Christ was teaching. He went into the synagogue. That's what it was called. It was changed to church because the same reason we don't call the Israelite school of UPK the Israelite church of UPK. All right, like it was back in the day for a little while. All right, and I forgot. Zimmer went over it. I think it's like they were trying to do something. I think it was like as far as nonprofits and different things they thought they had to do back then to get like funding from the government to be able to do certain things that, of course, through trial and error, they realized they didn't have to do, and the name was kept Israelite School UPK. All right. And that's from, remember, we started in the 60s. That's a whole nother topic. Right? Now, it's number 4. When a word has diverse significations, that to be kept, which have most commonly used by the most ancient fathers, being agreeable to the propriety of the place and the analogy of the faith, says that. Use the most common words used by our forefathers that is the most agreeable, depending on what the faith, meaning what's the meaning behind it. And what's the analogy of the faith and the propriety of the place. It's right here. That's why you can find the root word, most commonly used by our fathers. My name is a root word. Because it's like, yeah, I think that was it on that. I do gotta read this. Look, it says no marginal notes at all to be affixed, but only the explanation of the Hebrew or Greek words. Grant the lexicon. Okay, all right. These translations to be used when they agree better with the text than the Bishop Bible at the bottom. Meaning, F the Bishop's Bible. Go with the original text. But for the most part, try to keep it as close to the Bishop's Bible as possible. That was number one. And then they ended off with the same type of thing. Meaning, we ain't trying to change a lot. We just want the truth. That being said, man, what time is it? Barzal went on all day. 9:14. The root word by the ancients, where it originates, which is what all our words are based off, but this is the context. It put a tense in it, which is the present tense. So Amos, I'm a was, meaning burden. All right, there you go. Now, I'm not saying that that's exactly what it means, but just for the example's sake, that's how you use it. And that's how you would do it with a name. Okay, you would learn. We got the tenses. Email me, mariahupk@gmail.com. You can get all the Hebrew info for the class. That being said, Shalom, Yasha'Allah, Anya Kahan Wakwataziyan Marama Warka, Kayaha Yawam, Anya Ibar La Barzal Raka, Salakia. I'm gonna do that all over. I like how that felt pretty good. Let's do it all over though, right? What I'm about to say is I'm Priest and Officer Mariah, teacher for the day. I'm pass the class over to Priest and Officer Barzal Raka. All right. And sometimes I put officer in before priest. So I'm gonna start it over. So Shalom Yasha'Allah, Ayakwataziyam Marama Warka, Kayahayawam, Anya Ibar La Barzal Raka, Kahan Wakwataziyan, Salakia Barzal Raka, Shalom Yasha'Allah.
One more hand. The ISUK security announcements. We had an ISUK start out at 1 West on
And the school.
in the school.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Maybe I was shot.
Thank you. So big.
So big. Sorry was being turned. Just the brothers, imagine, which needs to remain standing. Brothers, we're gonna give us brothers a courteous salute. And if it's rare, I'm not a Shabbat. I'm Maza, Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shah, Barakathum. Yahweh Ta'ala, hands down, sorry. She turned to face the sisters. Sisters, I imagine. which means to stand. Since your Yamada Shabbat, reach your feet at a 45-degree angle. The right hand clasp over your left. When we say Barak, over your hand smacks your chest. Say the salute back to the brothers. Then the Israel, we're going to get the sisters a courteous salute. Then the Israel, Yamada Shabbat, Aymashi, Barak, Yahweh Shemal, the thumb by Shem Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Matah, class dismissed.
Shalom, Israel, for tuning in. All right, let nobody press you out there on Sabbath, man. Most High, and Christ, everybody that tuned in tonight. And Shalom, Israel, for tuning in.